Welcome back, friends, to another weekly video. This week I want to talk about management. And so we're going to be talking about the one problem that all first-time managers make. Now, this is a problem that usually happens within the first 6 months of taking your first manager job. And this is also something they don't tell you about in business school, but it can really impact your career. If you are a first-time manager, you are faced with a very difficult problem. You're being asked to do a job you've never done before, and your company is probably not training you how to do it. So most companies will just throw you into a team full of people you're supposed to be leading and say, okay, start managing. But this is something you haven't done before. You're used to doing the work yourself, but now you have to lead a team of people to do the work, and you are going to be supervising. What you should realize is that this is a stressful situation, and all first-time managers make a simple mistake. You miscommunicate with your employees. And you make this mistake because you're stressed and unaware of what is happening. So I hope that by walking through an example with you, it will help minimize the mistakes in your experience. This all has to do with personality traits. In psychology, there's a theory called the Big Five personality theory. This idea claims that there are 5 basic spectrums that everyone's personality falls on from high to low: extroversion, neuroticism, openness, agreeableness, and conscientiousness. It has long been one of the holy grails of business to determine if there's an ideal level of each personality trait to get the best employees. Then you could simply hire the right people after they get the best score on a personality test. Now, most of these efforts have been debunked as not being helpful in hiring, and I agree. In my experience, I've met outstanding business people with all different personality types. For instance, it makes no sense to only hire extroverted people because then you'd miss out on some really good introverted candidates. However, what I have found useful is for you to become aware of your own personality traits, because your personality impacts how you make decisions and interact with others. Let me give you an example. When we make decisions, we like to think that we evaluate a set of data, which drives the correct decision. However, in business, you very often have an incomplete set of data, and you still must decide. You've got to make that decision. And in those situations, you look for other information to guide your decisions, which will often come from your personality and your values. For instance, a lot of businesses are making a huge human resource decision right now on how to set up work-from-home policies. Now, for most businesses, this is a tricky decision because you probably have some staff that will always need to be on site at your business location. Having some staff work from home has a lot of benefits, but will probably make the jobs more difficult for the staff that have to remain on site. Now, there's not a lot of data on how to set up the ideal policy, and I am betting the personality traits of the person making this decision is going to have a big influence on the final policy. If they have a personality that wants people to work on site, they're going to have more people work on site. If they have a personality that wants people to work remotely, they're going to have more people work remotely. There's not really enough data to say one way is better than the other, so personality is impacting the decision. Let's get back to the problem you face as a first-time manager. You're going to find yourself in a lot of stressful situations where you don't necessarily know what to do. You don't have the experience and the training. You're lacking data. And what happens is your personality becomes your default position because that's what feels most natural to you. Your personality ends up guiding your decisions, and this does not always result in the best outcome. The trick here is to realize the difficult situation, be aware of your own personality, and ensure you are not miscommunicating. Let's talk about your personality. In my opinion, the personality spectrum that has the biggest impact on your management style is agreeableness. Someone high in agreeableness is friendly and helpful. Someone low in agreeableness will be more distant and mean. Traditionally, it has been viewed in the business world that you want a leader to be low in agreeableness because managers have to make difficult decisions and you don't need to be worried about being everybody's friend. But I've found that's not necessarily true. I would argue that you actually want to remove your personality from the decision and focus instead on clear communication. Let's walk through a scenario. On the agreeableness spectrum, you have friendly on one end and mean on the other. So let's say we have a first-time manager. Let's say they need to make a tough decision. If they rank high on agreeableness, they will try to be the employee's friend. If they rank low on agreeableness, they will yell at the employee. Both of these outcomes are bad. If you're friendly, the employee is not going to hear your message. If you're mean, the employee will never forget and will not follow your leadership. So what you want is clear communication with the employee on what needs to happen. Let's go back to what we're trying to achieve here. Realize the difficult situation, be aware of your own personality, and ensure you're not miscommunicating. Let me use myself as an example. If you watch my videos, I think you can tell I'm a pretty agreeable person. I'm the type of person who is always smiling. That's also the leadership style where I feel the most comfortable. I like to lead through example and encouraging people and inspiring people to get things done. When I had to supervise people for the first time, I must admit, there were times when I did not communicate effectively with my employees. I saw a problem that needed to be fixed, and instead of confronting them, I wanted to be their friend. And if you've ever experienced this, go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know what happened to you. I've also seen the opposite happen. In people with low agreeableness, they go overboard to assert their dominance over their team to get things done. Neither of these approaches are effectively communicating. What you learn over time as a manager, as you gain more experience, is that if you want people to do what you want, it is about clearly communicating what you want to happen and explaining how you're going to follow up to ensure that it happens. Let me emphasize again that in my experience, all personality types can become great managers. What's really important here is just your own self-awareness about your own personality and how it is influencing your decisions. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have additional accounting questions, you can always email me on my website, wolvesandfinance.com, and I will reply with my rates. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Zach from Wolves and Finance. Let's go out and make some money.